Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I did this beautiful cut crease makeup look using my Huda Beauty palette, and if you guys would like to see how I'm doing it, please keep watching. To start off my makeup look, I'm first going to work on my eyebrows. For that, I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade in shade Ebony, and this is a no-name brush. I got it from an artist store. Now, I always like to create an outer line to my brows. This acts like a guidance as to where I want my eyebrows to be and how sharp I want the edge to be. And then I sort of go in filling in these sparse areas. For the inner part of my brow, I always like to create small strokes just to make it more like a hair-like effect. Also, just a reminder, today's makeup is more like an Instagram makeup. So for those of you who like a little dramatic look, you guys may like it. And I'm just using a brow mascara to set the brow hair in place. Moving on to my eye base, for that I'm using Paint Pot by MAC in shade Soft Ochre. And I'm just creating a beautiful plain base so my colors can sit in perfectly. For my eyeshadow palette, I'm already using Huda Beauty palette in Desert Dusk. And the first color I've just used is called Eden from that palette. Next, I'm going to darken up my crease color using the next color called Blazing. And this is a little brownish shade and has a little bit of orange hint to it. I'm just going to go ahead and sort of layer the color Blazing on top again to make it look a little more darker and more vibrant. Next, moving on to my brow bone, for that I'm using the shade called Angelic. And it's a beautiful rose shimmery color. Moving on to the next color, which is a little purplish, and it's called Amethyst. And I'm just using it on my outer crease, and then I'm sort of swiping it inwards towards my crease. Moving on to creating my cut crease, I'm just going to take a flat shader brush and deposit that concealer, and I'm going to open my eyes just to check if my crease would go and touch the top of my eyes. There you go. Now I'm just going to I'm just going to curve out the edges to create that cut crease look. Once that's done, I'm going to now darken my outer crease using the Amethyst color, which is a purplish shade, and I'm just going to deposit it on the outer corners of my eyes. Moving on to my eyelid color, I'm going to use the color called Angelic, the same color that I've used on my brow bone, and I'm just going to use that all over my lid. All the brush numbers will be listed below on the description box for you guys to have a look. Moving on to my next color, which is called Celestial, and I'm just going to deposit that on the middle section right in between my outer crease and inner crease. Now for the glitter, I'm using my Stila Cosmetics glitter in shade Diamond Dust. Next, to carve out the edges around my eyes and my eyebrows, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer in shade Medium. For the brush that I'm using, it's a no-name brand brush that I got from an artist store again. I love these artist brush. Basically, these are brushes used to paint on canvases, but I just love them because they are very precise. Now for my foundation, I'm going to be using the new foundation by Maybelline Cosmetics, and I believe they are supposed to be like mattifying foundation, and they are the Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Foundation, and the shade that I'm using is in 320. I believe this shade is a little darker, probably one shade darker than my skin tone, but that's okay. I like to work with darker foundation at the beginning as my base. That way I don't have to color correct a lot of things. It just gets automatically color corrected. And then I just go in with my concealer to balance it out. I actually love the finishing of this foundation. For my concealer, I'm going to be using my L'Oreal True Match Concealer in shade N4.5. This is in shade Light to Medium. And once it's done, I'm going to be using my beauty blender to blend all that foundation into my skin. To set my under eyes, I'm going to be using my Ebony banana powder, and I'm just going to use a damp beauty blender to sort of set that powder right underneath my eyes and around my laugh line, and I'm just going to take the rest of it and apply it all over my face. And I apologize for the sunlight because the lighting is totally off because the sun is hiding behind the clouds, making it a little difficult for me to video. Alrighty, now that the sun is back, I hope the lighting is a little better. And anyways, basically I'm just gonna let this powder sit on my face for a good 5 to 10 seconds before I start dusting it off. Before I start contouring with that same brush, I'm just going to first dust off that excess powder sitting on my face using the brush that I was later going to go ahead and contour it with. So I don't like to switch between multiple brushes. I like to work with what I have. Usually it saves me a lot of time, so I just go with it. For my contour, I'm using my Maybelline Master bronze palette. It's not a contouring palette, it's actually a bronze palette, but they have 2 bronze color and 2 contouring colors, so I just use that contouring color to contour my face. For my nose, I like to use a smaller brush. The brush that I'm using right now is by Farmer Brush. I will link their link below on the description box for you guys to actually go and check out their products. And for my highlight right now, I'm using my Saleha Beauty highlighter. And because, like I say, this is more like an Instagram inspired makeup, so you will see a whole bunch of highlighter on my face. It photographs really well, but in real life it may look a little dramatic because you have a little bit of too much highlight going on. But it's okay because I like to settle it down with a beauty blender. So if for photograph purposes you want to keep it as a gleaming highlight, please go ahead, but in real life I like to blend it out with a beauty blender because otherwise it's gonna look like it's too much, especially because the color is a little bit of that champagne color, and on our skin anything that's champagne-y or silvery, it stands out a little more, a little too much. Now for my bottom eye part, I'm using the same amethyst color that I used on my outer corners from the HudaBeauty palette. And I'm just linking the outer corners and my inner part of the eyes together so it looks more blended in. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to now move on to my eyeliner. For today's eyeliner though, I've used 2 different eyeliners. The first one that I'm using right now is by NYX Cosmetics. This has a ball tip, so it's very easy for me to fill in and then also create that outer corners. I just feel like it's flowing out pretty nicely, and it's also not messing up with my glitters. Usually glitters are very difficult. Once you have them on, it's very hard to put the eyeliner, so I was pretty impressed with this eyeliner because of the ball tip. It wasn't really disturbing or moving around my glitters. For the inner part of my eyeliners, I'm using my Maybelline eyeliner, and I will write the names of the eyeliners down below on the description box for you guys to have a look. For my lashes, I'm using my Liligilachi in shade Lyla. And for my inner corners, I'm using that same rose gold color, which is called Angelic, from the same palette. Now for my lip liner, I'm using the color called Embrace Me from MAC Cosmetics. This is a beautiful pink shade. For my lipstick, I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills in shade Carina. And this is a beautiful Barbie pink. I just love this pink. It's very, very beautiful. Alright, so this is the finished look of the makeup look today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. This look is just perfect for a birthday, for a Mehendi, for anything that has more like a flowery, funky spring theme. I think this is so beautiful and just gorgeous in its own. Also a perfect Instagram makeup. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.